What is the dalil of Ahnaf? Because there is a hadith, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, جُعِلَتْ لِيَ الْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا. This is a muttafaqun alayh hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, very famous. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the earth has been made for me a place for worship, a masjid, and tahur. Do you remember me using the word tahur before? وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا. We said water is tahur. When water is tahur, what does it mean?
It's pure and it has the ability.
Yeah, it is pure and it has the ability to purify. So here, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ju'ilat liya al-ardu." The earth has been made for me masjid and tahur. We can pray anywhere as Muslims. If you don't have masjid, we can pray anywhere in the earth, and it is tahur. The earth is tahur. Tahur means it has the ability in it to purify. Like water has been called tahur in Quran, the earth has been called, the sand has been called tahur in hadith. So they take it as tahur. They say, well, it is tahur in itself, not because of necessity. And for ghusl and for wudu, when you are replacing wudu with tayammum, they say it will be as if you have no water available. This will take the place of water as the water would have been useful. This takes you to same status of purity. Clear? That's the Hanafi view. Okay, so as a result, what do they say? They say, if you do tayammum, the person who has done tayammum, when I say that, I will always mean because the water is either not available to use or is not you don't have the ability to use it. So if you do tayammum, Hanafis, they say, you can do everything what you can do with wudu. You can pray nafil. You can do your fard. You can do all the other action you would be able to do in wudu. You can do tawaf. You can do with one wudu many nawafil. You did wudu for one salah and you didn't break it. Well, you did tayammum, for one salah, you didn't invalidate it. Then just continue just treat it like wudu. Even if you don't find water for 10 years, you just keep doing tayammum like you would do wudu. The others, what do they say? The others say it is, Allah has made it useful for us. Allah has made it possible for us to use tayammum as a necessity. Necessities are not same as original. Sometimes Sharia gives you leniency because of necessity. It doesn't mean it is like the original. Let me give you an example. A mustahaba, a woman who bleeds often, not because of menstruation, but she bleeds because of an illness or a problem or from a vein or wound throughout the year or for long periods of time, or it doesn't stop. She bleeds all the time. That woman is called mustahada. Yeah? A mustahada, she must do wudu for every salah. When she does wudu, she can pray that salah with it, and when the time finishes for next salah, she must do wudu for the next salah. And she must not do wudu before the time has entered for salah. For dhuhr, she'll wait when the time starts, she do wudu, she can pray with it. But she can't continue it until asr. She must do wudu again. Because of a necessity, she doesn't purify because of the bleeding. So she has the method Sharia has shown that she can just do wudu, and then when she has done wudu, she can ignore the invalidator, that particular invalidator, which is bleeding in her case. So Hanafis, they say you can do tayammum like wudu, carry on praying salah and take it to the next salah and no problem. Right? The Jamhur, because they say it is badal daruri, it is a replacement due to necessity. So they say firstly, it doesn't remove hadath. The earth doesn't remove hadath, but temporarily you are assumed to have removed it. Am I making sense? Where Hanafi says tayammum makes you in a state of purity like wudu. The others, they say, well, it is due to necessity, it is assumed that you will remain in a pure state of purity. The hadath is there, but it is assumed due to necessity that you are now pure. Like a woman, she is bleeding continuously, like mustahada. That woman, she is not pure. She is still bleeding. But when the salah times come, she can do wudu. Even she is bleeding, it is assumed that she is clean. So they say it is temporary measure like that. And it is obvious it will have implications. So they say, because firstly, tayammum cannot be done unless the water is missing. So it is not like water, you can't use it all the time. It is due to necessity. So, and they say it doesn't remove the hadath, actually it hides the hadath away, or it temporarily assumes that you don't have hadath anymore. You may pray, and as soon as water is found, the hadath returns. For example, you had an obligation to do ghusl, no water available, you did tayammum. Now you are clean, you can pray, but then you find water. While you're in your salah, you see water. Or someone says, oh, water's coming now. Or you see water. What happens to your tayammum? It goes, finish, invalidates. So they don't treat it like badal mutlaq. They don't treat it like absolute. Even though the Hanafis say, if you see water, the tayammum will finish. You have to break your salah if you are in salah. But they say until the water is found, it is as if the wudu. They say because we know it doesn't work like wudu, so it is a temporary measure. So what difference does that make now? The difference is they say you can do tayammum once the time starts, like the mustahada. If you do tayammum before Asr starts, as soon as Asr starts, you must do tayammum again, even if you done it 2 minutes ago. So that's first thing. And secondly, Ahnaf, they say that because the hadith says Sa'idan Tahura, they say Ju'ilat liyal ardu Tahura, then Tahur is not temporary. When the water is not there, it's like water. So that's the first dispute. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Yeah, young ones? Yeah, cool. So either use it like water for Hanafis, and for others, it's not like water, it's temporary measure. So Hanafis say you can do tayammum now. If you don't break wudu till Fajr, pray Fajr with it. The others would say, no, you can only do tayammum for one salah. And I will cover later, you can't even do 2 salahs in the same time for some of them. Alright, we'll cover that inshallah in a bit.